midnight and work till 8 in the morning. Well, why? Well, you'll see when you get there. So we go through 30 blocks of fucking Korean neighborhoods, deep to where I don't know. We're in fucking Africa for all I know. I've never been to a place like this because I've never been to fucking Chinktown, Chicago. I didn't think all of China was that fucking big. We're rolling. This is why this is important in the story. Because the whole 4 or 5 days I was there and working from midnight to 8 in the morning, I never saw a fucking Chinaman in there. There's a bunch of fucking truck drivers and weird people writing messages that Bob explained to me they were making dates. I just didn't know why they were signing in. If Mel, 8:30, it's like, who gives a fuck? You know, it should be like, you know, there's a whole bunch of little balls of turd. There's no graffiti. There's just numbers. Well, anyhow. So we go in there, and it's a strip club called La Amor. But not a strip club, it's a booths with videos in them, right?
Thank you.
They're 42 inches by 42 inches, by the way, because this is important too. Because the job was, because we looked around and I says, well, this is it. What do you mean? He says, well, we're going to put tile in here on the floor. And
I hate
it
this
was,
story.
yeah, this will make you say, I haven't had a bad day on my job yet, apparently. But if you're a carpenter and you want to say, if anyone comes up and says, what's the worst job you've ever had? Don just did it. I'll tell you this story. Because it's fucking true. So we go in there that night, and the plan was this: we're gonna like do all the hallways in these little rooms in the Luan, because we're gonna lay fucking tile. We're gonna fucking do tile like fucking Mexicans 100 years ago, right? Except not ceramic, but we're gonna put glue down tile and underlay it. So we show up the first night and we're ready to go, and finally it's still kind of dark, and Don says, well, we better take these little chairs out, right? They're like little soda shop chairs or chairs. When the light shines on them, they're covered with cum. As a matter of fact, when a light shines on any part of the room, it's like stalagmites and stalagmites coming down with fucking cum. Running down. It's astonishing. It's like that guy had to be standing on that chair to do that, right? Whatever it is, it's because here's what happens. Don's down there. Says he looks at the bolts on the bottom. There are like 4 bolts holding this thing, and he says, "Looks like about a 5/16." And then like the light comes on, just as Don says, wait a second.
Yeah.
What's that? I know that smell. And the light comes on. We look and he goes, it's cum! Right? It was cum everywhere. So, here, but we're getting paid. We're good carpenters.
You're professionals.
Well, the cold had cracked my dash yet.
That was glue we get on our fingers before we ate, wasn't it?
Let's do it. I'll get into that. This is a 10-minute story. Just
Holy shit.
don't fucking tell me I can't tell the whole thing, because I remember every moment.
I haven't had a wet
It's
spot
like
in
I
my
have.
pants like that
You ever
since
have
high
dreams
school.
where you're trying to run and you just can't move? Well, this is that kind of job, because it just kept getting more and more profoundly fucked up. Because we go in there and we're cutting everything around 42-inch squares of Luan. We're cutting around the fucking ranch casing and everything, doing real nice cuts, putting the joints nice, nailing every fucking 4 inches, whatever you're supposed to do. Everything's the way it is. We leave. We put all the shit in there, and we did a whole hallway. We come back that night, and everything's covered in cum. We laid the tile on the fucking Luan, right? On the floor. You didn't need any fucking glue. And then we glued it, and we're having lunch, and some guy comes walking with napkins, and he couldn't get in the room because he's going, and he gets by these little 42 by 42 inch cubicles that we taking the doors off of, puts the money in, he's standing out in the hallway beating off. I got mad. I said, why don't you go home and do that? Why one night? Why, this week? Beat off at home. Because none of these people were from the neighborhood, because everyone in the neighborhood was fucking Korean or Chinese or Vietnamese. I don't know. Never saw one in there. This kind of place, you go in the door, and the guy did a test for like 3 nights in a row. College kid reading. When he hears the door open, he reaches over and he rips off 2 paper towels and hands them to you. Because he knows you're going to the Peter Beater booth, which is what we had to call him, because once you saw the cum, and you saw the movies and all the guys, you realize that's what's going on in here. You know, they ain't missing. They ain't like aiming at a toilet bowl.
They ain't aiming.
So we realize what you do is every time you do a room, you do the whole thing. You fucking tile it and glue it, and you put the flooring down. You're not moving as fast, but when you're done, you're done. Somewhere right about this time, the owner lady comes in, and she's kind of approving the work, and she comes up and she says, you know, we've got 14 of these. We got 6 in Chicago and 2 in Toledo, what have you. We could need this work done in all of them. And I said, ma'am, do you have any idea what goes on in here? I said, what you need is tiled rooms with shower heads and drains in each one of them. So this is disgusting. Look, so as far as I know, I mean, I didn't take that job. I didn't follow up on Don, but it was his job. We were doing it. And it just got
Who found
weirder
the
and
job?
weirder every fucking night.
Who found the job?
Hmm?
Who found the job?
Don, this is
Yeah,
right
I was a
around the
general
AIDS time. The first night after we saw the cum everywhere, and before we even did the next phase of it and learned, no, they'll come anywhere, but we knew there was cum everywhere. Don called a warehouse, a cleaning warehouse in Chicago. We got the most powerful disinfectant that they fucking make. And what we do is we open up one of these 42 by 42 inch rooms and have a can of that disinfectant compressed and just empty the entire motherfucking can. And there's 28 booths, we had 24 cans. And I didn't care about the last 4 because I had to quit. I was so fucking disgusted. You see, what was disgusting about it? Well, here's what happened. We got so tired and we were in a row. I remember clearly, I don't know what direction we were facing. We were all facing the same direction. Don's in this room, putting underlayment in, which by the way, here's how it started out. Jigsaw, cutting them out. At the end, it was taking a claw hammer, just so it fit in the fucking room, right? Oh, I did it again. It went to put in, instead of 2-inch or 4-inch nail squares, about 10 fucking nails, right? Slapping the fucking cement on it and tile it. Don is over there doing something. I'm in the middle and Bob's over here and he's spreading the tile. This is as good a time as anything to mention it. The other feature besides cum everywhere was pubic hair. Unfucking believable variety of pubic hair. And it was everywhere.
I gotta take a phone call.
You know how this ends?
Are you gonna talk about while we're eating our sandwiches and shit? We got pubic hairs all over our fingers, stuck in the.
Well, no, who's got the most? Bob, who's got the brown gloves on, he spread the glue and he looks over at me and he says, you look a little bald. And he splats this fucking glue on me covered with fucking pubic hairs. And something inside of me just said, I'll put up with this, I'll put up with that, but I ain't putting up with this. So I worked through the night, and that morning I realized 2 things had happened. I found a guy, right when I was despairing of what kind of life is this as a carpenter. This is the worst job I've ever done. I'm on my way out the door, and there's this Jamaican guy that cleaned it up. And you gotta remember, when you walk into these rooms, even after this guy cleaned all the time, there's fucking condoms and astonishing things, tokens. Bob had a whole pocket full of tokens he picked up off the floor. He put them in rubbing alcohol later, and the last night we worked, they played them. Because I could never understand 1/4 right-handed, left-handed. They got like 1 minute, just about the time. Then you got to find change, right? You need another guy in there putting quarters in there, which is apparently what was happening.
Did he change channels?
I'm done.
Oh.
No, I'm not. I got one part of it.
I
This
did
is the
think
best
that.
part, I think, because this is the real lesson. So there's this Jamaican guy, and I said, "Whew." I said, man, that's a fucked up job, you know, because his job is going there to clean this shit up. And I says, "Whew." This is like, wow, this seems terrible. What's the worst thing you ever seen in here, man? He says, oh man, there'll be too many things. So one day I find a carrot big around his arm and covered in sheet. And one day I open up the door and there'd be a rubber woman and she winked at me. And I thought that guy has the worst fucking job in the world. I thought I did. No, it was him. And I could be wrong, but am I right or wrong?
It's on you.
Well, because I'm done, you know. I'm not, it won't be on the
Yeah.
test. Won't be on the test. All I want to know is, did I tell it the very same way the last time? Yes, because it was true.
Yep. I was there.
I was that Jamaican man.